A 4 TB CFexpress card? Yes, from Angelbird.
This is a CineD Gear News video, supported by B&H and CVP.
Hi, I'm Johnny from CineD, and I'm here with Roman from Angelbird. Roman, how are you?
I'm very well. How are you, Johnny?
I'm very good, thank you very much. And actually, we're going to have a short, nice and sweet talk about CFexpress cards.
Right.
Okay, so we're going to talk about a new CFexpress card that you are bringing into the market. And sometimes I'm really wondering, how much can you talk about a CFexpress card? But obviously you have something special. What's new at Angelbird?
I think that's special is that we develop and manufacture the cards completely on our own. So we are not an OEM company. This is most important to know. And this is also the reason why we can introduce features. And now with the release of the 4 TB, I think that's something very special and is, of course, it's for a niche customer base, but for customers which are doing a lot of documentary, which are doing helicopter work or underwater work, where they require high capacity because they cannot replace the cards. And as you probably remember, a few years ago, we were also the first ones who introduced 1 TB C-Fast cards. That was also especially for these cases, and now we also fulfill these needs for these customer bases.
Good. So we are celebrating the birth of a 4 TB CFexpress card. Mm-hmm. But there's always this argument, and that's how I feel. From one hand, we filmmakers, we always want more capacity, but when it's there will always be those who will say, I don't want to put all my material in one large card. How safe is it at the end of the day to shoot everything that you have throughout the day on one card?
So I fully agree on that. I would also support saying, okay, rather take a few smaller capacity cards if you can work it out like that. But in this way. But there are customers, as I just mentioned, who cannot replace the card. And there it's needed to have a high capacity. In the end of the day, the risk to lose the data on a high capacity compared to a low capacity, it's very, very similar. Of course, if you continue shoot for, let's say, 1.5 hours raw, the card temperature, the card stress is higher than on our lower capacity cards, but the cards are built for that in first place. So the risk is how you say, manageable.
So what you're saying that your cards specifically are also built to work in a very high temperature?
Yes, exactly. So if we, for example, talk about an 8K camera, 100 frames per second V-Raptor from Red, there it's about really shooting everything on the card by heart, and that thing will get hot because you burn a lot of energy, and energy burning means temperature. So the cards, so this technology must be able to fulfill these needs and withstand these extreme temperatures. So it's not a consumer product. That's also very clear. It is something where how say the technology of the camera and the card have to really be in sync. And yeah, talking about temperature, we're talking about 90 degrees, 95 degrees or even higher Celsius, which these cards and especially also the camera body must be able to withstand.
When you develop those cards, are you also talking to manufacturers? So at the end of the day, as you just said, there is a complete sync between cameras and cards, or you just have your own way and you kind of present the end product to the camera manufacturers?
No, it's first of all in the development we of course go from the what's possible, component-wise, what is possible, temperature-wise, and also stress-wise. But we are always in sync with the camera manufacturers, talking to them. And if we talk about our main partners here, they say, okay, this camera has to or this camera burns that much energy, has this possibility to dissipate the temperature, and so on and so on. And then we can say, we can spec the product for these needs, and we can also discuss and say it's possible or it's not possible, or it's on the edge. So as I said, they have to be really in sync. So the camera must be able to read out data from the card and vice versa. They have to be working together to in the end of the day fulfill the job.
Since this is a really high capacity, I can presume that the data structure will not work with every camera out there that actually use CFexpress cards. Which cameras are actually now supporting 4 tera?
Yeah, you nailed it actually, this question. So not all the cameras which are on the market currently support higher capacities than 2 terabyte. From the time being, NAB 2022. It's the V-Raptor and what we also know... Excuse me?
Is it probably Nikon, I guess?
Yeah, Nikon should also be able to support it. There's no official announcement on that, but I strongly believe that they also will be supporting. And of course, there's Panasonic, there's Canon, and if the cards are there and the customer want it, I think it's just a matter of time that the camera manufacturers will adapt and roll out the firmware update supporting higher capacities than 2 terabyte.
What type of other functionalities actually you see for that type of card? Personally, as a documentary filmmaker who is traveling around the world and looking always to reduce the weight of my equipment, I would use these, for example, for editing instead of even SSDs, because at the end of the day, those are bigger and even more they weight more. So what is your opinion about it?
Yeah, we have users, they use the cards as storage media for the camera, but also as editing media. And the cards, and especially also in combination with our readers, are fully capable to fulfill this job. So you take the card out of the camera, you put it in the reader, and you start editing on the card. So it is possibly, definitely.
Okay. What about pricing and availability? Because it's very nice to have 4 terabytes, but I can assume this is quite expensive.
Expensive, it depends on the relation. We are here at $1,799.99 US dollars and euros for 4 terabyte, and availability is there. So by today, or actually by the NAB, we start shipping the cards. So the 4 terabyte and the 1.32 are on shelf and shipping. But again, these cards are not for the normal hobbyist shooter. They are really for the professional use, where you say, okay, I'm doing a Amazon, Netflix, Apple, whatever show, shooting in extreme conditions. These are done for that. Here you also don't use a camera which costs 1,500 euros or dollars. You are shooting, you have gear on set which costs really a lot of cash, but yeah, that will be paid off because it's a production, it's work and not a hobby.
Just to satisfy my curiosity, because you are manufacturing also SD cards, and obviously the market of mirrorless cameras, especially if you want to shoot or film in ProRes, let's say, internally, there is a shift from SD cards to CFexpress cards. Do you also see this in terms of sales?
There is definitely a shift. It's a ramp up. We will see within the next 5 years for sure that the CFexpress technology, and I'm not particularly talking about Type B because these are Type B form factor, but there is Type A, there is Type B, there is Type C, and so on, which will be adapted from the markets. For sure, Type B will for the next 2 to 3 years be the form factor because it's handy. But there is more to come to this topic of CFexpress. And that's also the nice thing for us. This is also the reason why we invested a lot of time and money to make these things right. And if you talk about features, I also want to jump on this because most people don't know. We also able to update the firmware, so the software of the cards in the field. And so far we are the only ones offering these features. And why do we do this? To be able to always be upfront. Technology-wise and also in terms of compatibility, and also of course to add features in the field. So the customer is not forced that he buys something today and the day after it's not working again, or he has to repurchase. No, we offer as a free service that we do as much as possible to our cards software to get the most out of it.
One single advantage that you as a reputable manufacturer has over, let's call it, no-name CFexpress card manufacturers. One thing,
yeah, we are in control of everything. That's it. It's not a Me Too product. It's not buying from a big OEM, which most of the brands you see out there are doing, and put a sticker on it and say, "Oh, we are so great." And no, we don't do that. And we are in control of everything: hardware, firmware, and also the entire service.
Good. Roman, before I say thank you and goodbye, did I forget to ask you anything important or anything else that you would like to say about this very interesting product?
I think what I want to say, it's just the start of a new area of technology, of storage media for cameras, and from us, I can say there's a lot to come.
That sounds very mysterious, but very interesting. Roman, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure talking to you. And guys, thank you very much for listening, and please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and much more to come from the show floor of NAB 2022. Thank you.